Today's movie has cannibals, a crazy cult, and Robert Kerman in the jungle. What more could you possibly need? Welcome to Sick Flicks, where I take a deep dive into the cinematic sewer to help you embrace your inner gore geek. I'm Mike Bracken, aka the Horror Geek, and today we're tackling Umberto Lenzi's gruesome cannibal flick, Eaten Alive. Released in 1980, Eaten Alive features two of exploitation cinema's favorite topics, bloodthirsty cannibals and crazy Jonestown-esque cults. Eaten Alive predates Lenzi's beloved Cannibal Ferox by a year, but it's got all the Italian jungle film staples you've come to expect. Robert Kerman, Me Me Lai, lots of nudity, plenty of stock footage, and copious gut munching. It's also got numerous scenes of animal cruelty called from other films. I will not be covering that in this review, so don't panic. If you've ever wanted to experience Eaten Alive but were put off by the animal stuff, I've got you covered. But enough about that. Can Eaten Alive take a place of honor alongside Cannibal Holocaust and Cannibal Ferox by earning a 5 barf bag rating? Let's get to the gore and find out. Oh, and before we get started, today's video is sponsored by patrons Dom, Base Machete, and my pal Chad Suggs. If you'd like to help sponsor some videos, you'll find my Patreon link in the description and pinned comment below. And with that out of the way, let's get bloody. We fade in on the cannibal hotbed of Niagara Falls? What the hell is with these cannibal movies starting in North America? Someone needs to get these guys a map. These undercover cops are up to something, and I don't know guys, it's hard to be undercover when you're all wearing bright orange jackets with police written across the back. Oh hey, look, it's Mickey Dolenz from the Monkees. He's not monkeying around. Say what you will about Mickey here, but this dude blows. And now we're ready for the hot cannibal action in New York City? Yeah, okay, sure, let's just roll with that. This guy's about to call Lenzi to ask what the hell is going on, but Mickey Dolenz and his magic bamboo flute show up and put in work. He's like, here's a tip, pal. Then he takes off. You could say he darted away. He's not done though. Next he nails Budget Xander Berkeley. Santa's like, I saw that and now you're on my naughty list. Mickey flees again, probably to catch the last train to Clarksville, but instead he has this moving experience with a rider truck. And we rock our way into the credits. Robert Kerman in a cannibal movie? No way. I like that they put an exclamation point on the title. I mean, Eaten Alive doesn't sell it without the added emphasis. With Ivan Rassimov. I feel terrible that I've done almost 100 episodes of this show, and this is our first Ivan Rassimov appearance. Ivan was a legend who appeared in a ton of Italian films. We'll be seeing more of him. And here's cannibal film queen Me Me Lai. We'll be seeing more of her too. Also, Franco Fantasia sounds like an adult film name. Or a magician. Same. Janet Agron is still walking through the credits when she bumps into Mel Ferrar's name. We last saw Mel as the general in Lenzi's Nightmare City. Wonder if he'll fly any helicopters in this movie. Story and screenplay by Umberto Lenzi. Which is sort of true, I guess. I mean, he stole a lot of stuff from other movies in this one. And I don't mean ideas, I mean entire scenes. These credits sure are long, but when they rock this hard, who cares? I can't believe she walked right past the theater showing Disco 9000 and Game of Death. What is she even doing with her life? I guess she couldn't stop because she had an important meeting with the cops, including this guy voiced by Sick Flicks veteran Edward Mannix.
Miss Morris from sunny Alabama. Thank you for coming right away.
Also, I'm not 100% sure, but I think the other voice is Ted Rusoff.
Well, Sheila, some pretty strange things have been happening here in New York and upstate as well this past week.
Turns out Sheila's sister Diana has gone missing.
6 months ago, she was here in New York. She was into sculpture down in the village.
This guy's like, oh man, she's into sculpture? That's a bad scene. Guessing she's hit rock bottom. Then he ties our plot together.
3 homicides. 3 men killed with tiny darts, dipped in cobra venom.
And we learn about Jonas, who's basically our Jim Jones.
You ever hear of a guy called Jonas?
No, who is he?
A first-class nut. A dope addict, probably.
Afterwards, things get meta as we watch this movie in the movie. Oh man, I don't want to watch a vacation video. And now it's basically a Mondo film. Man, these Tony Robbins retreats have gotten weird. Luckily for us, Mel Ferrar is here to tell us what this is.
That ritual we just saw could be a fakir gathering in Borneo.
Or footage from the luau during my trip to Hawaii last year. Care to guess? I've got prizes if you're right.
They're against the contamination of land and resources. Very, very fanatical in their beliefs.
So basically, they're hippies is what you're saying. See? Told you they were hippies. Meanwhile, Ash is on his way to a cabin in the woods, but first he's got to drop these two off. They've stopped here for some exposition, but as an added bonus, we get a heaping helping of Pimp Hand. Meanwhile, over in the Deer Hunter... Oh wait, they're gonna arm wrestle. Look, Robert Kerman made a lot of adult films in his career. You don't really know where that hand has been. Robert, I told you I was gonna wear the yellow headband. Now we look silly. At any rate, this is the weirdest remake of Over the Top ever. Winner arm wrestles Stallone. Back in Kerman's room, we get a J&B sighting. Everyone drink. Turns out he's a grizzled Vietnam vet. And really, is there any other kind?
7 years ago, you deserted from Vietnam. I know all about it, so relax, okay?
Janet needs him to be her guide through cannibal country.
I will offer you good money if you take me to Shakir.
Except he's not interested.
And look, why don't you take your problem to some white-collar asshole in the concert and leave me alone?
Wait, why is Robert Kerman talking jive? Couldn't they get Mannix to dub him?
Look, lady, this part of the world is known for two things: crazy religions and a clap.
I feel like the tourism board missed an opportunity for the perfect slogan here. After some more jibber-jabber, Kerman finally agrees.
I only work for cash.
And really, this is a good policy. Guessing there aren't a ton of banks in the jungle that cash checks. They fly out and, holy shit, Janet Agron drops an N-bomb. I will not be sharing that. After the racism, they eventually arrive.
What'd you expect? Rockefeller Center?
Well, I was hoping they'd at least have an Applebee's. They head in and agree to buy a decapitated Cookie Monster. No, not Cookie Monster. Then they're locked up by the locals, which means it's time for more exposition.
Is your sister rich?
3 years ago, when my father died, we inherited the cotton mill. I was still underage, so my sister took over the legal administration.
Jesus, what is with the accents in this dub? We could have just called this terrible accent the movie. With the exposition out of the way, it's time to relax. Oh look, they left us a gift basket of cobras. That night, things get funky with this lo-fi Skrillex. Kerman and Sheila escape the next day. Fell for the old Cobra Kilda scheme, eh? Oldest trick in the book. After a beatdown, the old guy gives it up. Jonas and his cult have gone deeper into the jungle.
Jonas decided to build his purification village in the middle of the jungle, where no white man could possibly find him.
Janet's like, sounds cool, let's go. I love that she basically has one facial expression in all the close-ups. It's like a melding of confused and turned on. After that, they take a nice scenic tour down the river. Kerman's like, sure hope I don't run into myself in another cannibal movie out here. Then he drops some foreshadowing.
Survival of the fittest. We'll see worse before this is over.
Eventually, they set up camp. Kerman settles in for some J&B. You know what to do. The next day, they slow jam their way down the river. This shit is turning me on. Sit down, Robert. Things are going great until this stock footage crocodile from Martino's Mountain of the Cannibal God attacks.
Ingruna! Ingruna!
It's like cannibal film law that at least one character has to be eaten by a crocodile. This fills our quota. Back on shore, we get yet another J&B sighting. Pace yourself, guys. I'm not going to be responsible if you get alcohol poisoning. Over in another movie, the cannibals attack this village. Action pose. Clearly, the quality of dental care is lacking in the jungle. All this dude wants for Christmas is his 2 front teeth. Can you even be a cannibal with no front teeth? Long pig is stringy. It's also worth noting this scene is taken from Lenzi's Man from Deep River and repurposed for Eaten Alive. That night they set up camp. Kerman gets philosophical.
I've seen some pretty bad things in my life. Decapitated women. Burned babies. Old men's eyes burned out with gas.
All those moments will be lost in time, like tears in the rain. Time to die. But before that can happen, he gives Sheila a taste of his pimp hand. I feel like we're getting our money's worth on pimp hands and J&B this week. First I want to hit ya, then I want to kiss ya. The next day they jungle boogie right into these cannibals. But these aren't cannibals. They're Jonas's people.
My name is Dick. I'm one of Jonas's followers.
What luck. Next, we hop over to Jonestown. Or in this case, I guess it's Jonastown. And speaking of Jonas, here comes Ivan Rassimov, model in this summer's hottest new dress. After giving them the tour, Jonas shows them a little Jonastown hospitality by lighting the biggest spliff ever. They don't call this place J-Town for nothing.
She looks stoned out of her mind.
At any rate, the great god Cookie Monster approves. Cookie. Afterwards, Sheila and Diana are reunited.
It was like a nightmare. Thank God you're alive.
Ah, you scatterbrain of a little sister. You must be insane taking the risks you did.
I thought you were in trouble.
Someone clearly switched the fake Southern accent setting to Civil War, Alabama. At any rate, the point of all this jibber-jabber is that Diana is unhappy in Jonastown, but Jonas isn't going to let them go.
He's a fraud, a cruel sadist whose only desire is power.
And since things were getting exciting, this feels like a great time to head back to New York. Why? Hell if I know. Maybe so we can hear this funky disco track. Or for this pointless subplot with the cops.
I'm sorry that Miss Morris didn't tell me the real circumstances, or I'd have come to see you sooner.
And Sheila wouldn't be missing.
Don't you guys have actual crimes in New York City to solve? This isn't Law and Order New Guinea. Back in the jungle, it's happy hour. But Kerman's like, no thanks, I only drink J&B. It's in my contract. This does not sit well with the locals. And as punishment, they tie him to the Tree of Woe. Then they bring in this cannibal. Careful, man, you almost knocked my wig off. And then, since Lenzi's already borrowing scenes from other movies, he figures he might as well borrow this music from Cannibal Ferox.
Will for purification, for us all to step up and sail.
Then Jonas shows up. I'm starting to worry he might only own one dress. And how do I describe this next scene without getting demonetized? Let's just say he pegs her with a venom-soaked Steely Dan and call it good. Back outside, this guy taunts Kerman with some J&B.
You son of a bitch.
And why is he wearing a macaroni necklace? Did his kid make that for him at Cannibal Summer Camp or what? Luckily for Kerman, this guy comes along and frees him. He's like, thanks, I'm gonna head off. There's probably another cannibal movie out here looking for a leading man. And it wouldn't be a cannibal film without a dong removal, which I absolutely cannot show you. But trust me, this guy's less of a man than he used to be. Afterwards, Kerman's attacked by the whitest cannibal since Jeffrey Dahmer. I mean, they must have found this dude in the jungles of the studio parking lot in Rome. Back at camp, Sheila and Diana are yakking.
Last night he made me drink that stuff again. Afterwards, I don't know what happened.
We call that a roofie. This is interrupted when Kerman returns. I'm ready to worship you, Jonas. Please give me the J&B communion. Later, he's like, man, sold my soul to this guy and no J&B. All I got was this crappy cottage cheese. If you guessed getting back into Jonastown was going to take more effort, give yourself a screenwriter's credit.
Drinking the sacred ambrosia, he will become a member of our community.
Sacred ambrosia? Sure, I love those guys. How Much I Feel is my jam. Do you kids even remember ambrosia? Christ, I'm old. Wait a minute, I was promised J&B if I converted. Later that night, Jonas has Sheila spray painted. So this is where Gold Dust got his gimmick. But this magical moment is interrupted by Diana, so Jonas goes all Devo and whips it good.
Get it!
Crack that whip. That's interrupted because it's time to vote another contestant off of Survivor New Guinea.
Forgive me, Jonas.
I'm sorry, old guy, the tribe has spoken. Bring me your torch. If you're wondering where Me Me Lai is in this movie, she's sort of a peripheral character, and I can't really show her because the production didn't budget enough money to buy her a top, apparently. Kerman sneaks off to meet Sheila, and is it just me, or does he kinda look like a young Roy Scheider? You're gonna need a bigger boat. He gives her some very precise rules for their escape.
You have to avoid drinking anything Jonas offers you.
Not even the J&B? The next day, they're treated to a sweet buffet. You know it's fancy because everyone put on their best headbands. I think the reason no one could afford to buy Me Me Lai a top is because they blew all of the wardrobe money on headbands. That night, Jonas finally gets a new dress. The black is very slimming. Man, look at all these headbands. I don't think a Robicide spent this much on headbands, and it's set in a gym. Later on, they splinter cell their way to Sheila. She's not down for night canoeing, so Kerman gives her another taste of his pimp hand.
No!
They're out in the jungle, but Jonah's men are in hot pursuit. And just a note, I'm gonna have to edit a lot here because Me Me Lai's boobs are in a lot of shots. Sheila makes a break for it and Mark chases her. Meanwhile, Mimi and Diana run into Jonas's men and gets a pimp hand for her troubles. This might be a pimp hand record at this point. Things are about to get worse though because they're surrounded by cannibals. Back in the other part of the jungle, Sheila's fallen into a booby trap.
Hell yeah.
No, not like that, you pervs. A real booby trap. She's stuck in the ground.
Don't worry, I'm gonna get you out of here. It's okay. Come on.
The cannibals are having a celebratory dinner back with the other group. This guy's like, lend me your ear, so I can eat it. Then Diana gets a breast reduction, which I can't show you, but take my word for it, it's some real cut-rate work. Kerman is watching all this, but he's still got time for yet another pimp hand. I think his hand would be sore by this point. Me Me Lai gets it worst of all, although most of the footage is just lifted from her death scene in Deodato's Jungle Holocaust. Nice work, Lenzi. You're practically Bruno Mattei at this point. Needless to say, there's no way YouTube has let me show you this, so blame YouTube. Deeper in the jungle, cannibals attack Kerman and Sheila. Kerman's like, spears to you, as he jabs this dude right in the gut.
Are you hurt?
Nothing a little J&B can't fix. With the jungle full of cannibals, they decide there's no way out.
Listen, Sheila. We're not gonna get out of this.
Except here comes the Deus Ex Machina helicopter brigade to save the day. Bet you forgot about those New York cops, didn't you? Back at camp, Jonas here has gone full Jim Jones. Prepare the flavor aid. The guys in the chopper spot Kerman and Sheila and the cannibals.
It's going to be one hell of a fancy trick to pull them out of there.
Nice dubbing. Guess the track developed a stutter. They're making a mad dash to the whirlybird. Kerman is almost there, but first he tells this cannibal he's not javelin it. Back at Jonastown, the punchline has formed.
God bless you.
And with pretty much everyone dead, you know what that means. It's time for some disco in NYC. Seriously, what the fuck, Lenzi? Oh hey, remember Mel Ferrar? Yeah, he's still in this movie. He's here to visit Sheila, Kerman, and Edward Mannix's voice at the hospital. Oh, and he's here to cover up the cannibalism. We can't ruin the New Guinea tourism industry. And remember all that money Sheila was supposed to pay Kerman?
You see your check here for 80,000 smackers. It bounced like a big rubber ball.
You don't have very much good luck, do you, Mark?
Jesus, she's pretty glib for a lady who just ripped off a dude for 80 grand. And now he's out 80 grand, and probably owes money for littering. Well done, Kerman. If we consider Cannibal Holocaust the crown jewel of the Italian cannibal films, and Cannibal Ferox the most depraved, I guess we'd classify Eaten Alive as the most tasteless and crass. Which is why I love it. I'm a simple man. Give me the gore and I'm happy. It really is impressive Lenzi made both this and Ferox, as well as kickstarted the whole subgenre with Deep River Savages. That's dedication to your artistic vision. Eaten Alive may not be as good as Cannibal Holocaust or Cannibal Ferox, but can this human buffet earn 5 Michelin stars / barf bags? Let's go to the gore card. In terms of gross anatomy, Eaten Alive delivers. If you're trying to guess the barf bag rating based on what you saw in the video, don't bother. YouTube wouldn't let me show you any of this film's multitude of money shots. At any rate, we're treated to multiple severed heads, multiple disembowelings, gut munching, a severed dong, and the Me Me fillet. Those are just the highlights. Paulo Ricci's special effects run the gamut from decent to obviously fake, but there's more than enough splatter here to earn this one the full 5 barf bag rating. This is definitely a sick and sleazy flick. Looking for another adventure in cannibal country? Then be sure to check out my review of Massacre in Dinosaur Valley. You'll find a link here on the screen after my outtakes. I'll meet you over there. Until next time, I'm Mike Bracken, aka The Horror Geek, bringing you all the splatter that matters. And because I didn't flub 10,000 lines in this one, I feel like I've disappointed you because there aren't 6 hours of outtakes. My apologies. Released in 1980, Eaten Alive features, teleprompter 1, mic 0. Eaten Alive predates Lenzi's fuck. And we walk our way. It's like a Chinese cooking show. Guess she couldn't stop because she had an important meeting with the cops, including this guy voiced by Sickflix at, You know what's hard? Words. Fell for the old Koba. Koba. The Koba killed us. Koba Kai. I trained at the Koba Kai dojo. Reading. It's an important skill for this job. Later that night, trying to erase the teleprompter. Oh, to think I'm a professional writer who gets paid to use words. He's here to visit Sheila and Herman. Herman, the character who is new to this movie, apparently. This was going too well today.